Hey y'all, and welcome to Politibrawl. My name is Brian, and Representative McIver is making a mockery not only of her position and this committee meeting, but of Kristi Noem herself, and Representative Brecheen has a perfect response to this. Let's dive in.
You have repeatedly shown that you will target whoever you want, whenever you want, without accountability. Members of Congress, members of our communities, and even American citizens, as many of my colleagues have continued to point out today. Secretary Noem, that's not leadership. That's not democracy. And that is not how this works. Again, this is not just about you. Don't want you to think this is just a pick on you day. This is about the Trump administration that has turned DHS into a political weapon. So I'll ask you this. Is Trump embarrassed by your tenure, or is this exactly the kind of god-awful leadership he wants at DHS? Yes or no?
Ma'am, we've already conducted more oversight visits.
No. It's a yes or no. Yes or no. Okay, Secretary Noem, this is my time to talk, not your time to talk. I reclaim my time. I reclaim my time. I reclaim my time. Chair, I reclaim my time. Secretary Noem, DHS is breaking the law, hiding information from Congress, and shutting out oversight. So let me ask you, how can the American people trust your department with you at the helm with this kind of behavior?
The American people absolutely trust this department to keep them safe. And we are showing that every day by the support we get across the country, the amount of people that we're recruiting to all of our different agencies.
Thank you, Secretary Noem. Do you agree that using DHS resources to target members of Congress is an abuse of power?
Excuse me, would you say that
You
again?
would have heard me if you stopped talking and listened to my questions. Do you agree that using DHS resources to target members of Congress is an abuse of power?
We are not doing that. We are out there enforcing the law, doing our work, and we are allowing oversight.
Of course, we're not going to get any answers. With that, Mr. Chairman, I yield back.
Gentlelady yields back. I now recognize the gentleman from Oklahoma, Mr. Brecheen, for 5 minutes of questions.
It's no wonder that chaos has become the commonplace when rudeness is so on display. Look, it's both sides. We've created a lack of civility in this country, but we're perpetuating in this society what your administration is trying to correct, and that is returning back to the rule of law. What separates us from falling into chaos as a nation where poverty envelops us is when we return to order and a display of respect towards law enforcement, a display of respect to officials. Look, this custom, and you've been a member of Congress, of where we talk over people and we don't give secretaries a chance to respond, the height of self-importance that too many people try to employ in this building, not remembering we're all here as public servants to serve the people. We lift our hearts up far beyond our fellow countrymen. I'll tell you who says thank you. It's those whose families that were the victim of assaults and rapes and murders under the auto pen period the last 4 years. They say thank you. Those who see the madness of lawlessness, the lack of respect to law enforcement, the heightened element of law enforcement sitting in their vehicles and being targeted say thank you. Those families of law enforcement whose addresses are being put out in public so they can intimidate not only the law enforcement officials, but their families to try to put them into a place of fear, say thank you for common sense returning back into this country. If we do not have a respect of authority, a respect of law enforcement, thank you for allowing arrests to happen when someone spits at law enforcement. Thank you. FEMA, you were assaulted a minute ago verbally over what you're doing with FEMA. I will tell you, as somebody that comes from a state that has more tornadoes, Oklahoma, than probably any other state, thank you for looking at how we can save money through efficiencies. Our state would love the opportunity of what this administration is talking about, of returning power and decision-making back to states. As I've said to you before, of a person who sat on a bulldozer watching the madness of trying to comply with EPA regs that have built their way into FEMA and people's homes destroyed, and as a state lawmaker pushing timber around on a dozer trying to comply and get taking the time off from time of exercise as a lawmaker trying to help people, and I saw the craziness of federal regulations. Thank you for looking and not taking your foot off the gas of trying to put more money back into national security from the waste that has happened through endless regs.
This level of decorum, ladies and gentlemen, is exactly what a legislator is supposed to have. And McIver doesn't have it, okay? By the way, I apparently mispronounced his name. It's Brecheen, not Brecheen. And so ultimately, McIver knows that she's in hot water. Okay, she decided to get very physical and confrontational with a bunch of federal agents, and now there are pending charges. She has been caught on video, and she knows that she's probably not going to escape this unscathed. So she has the pretty much only thing left in her arsenal besides actually having the wherewithal to apologize and back off, or even better, in the case of the rest of this country, resign. Instead, no, she decides, I'm going to up the ante, make everything about me, and ask these insipid questions about, does President Trump approve of your lawlessness? How dare you take up more of my time? This is just disgraceful. Hey, y'all. About half this country has high blood pressure. And with Thanksgiving and Christmas coming up, that means you are going to be sitting across from people that you love that are likely affected by it. Some might not know it, some might not talk about it, but that's why this is the perfect moment to take charge of your health or help someone else with theirs. Go to 120life.com. That's 120life.com and use my code BRAWL for 20% off. Try it risk-free for 2 weeks. And if your blood pressure doesn't come down, you're going to get a full refund. So there's nothing to lose except your high blood pressure numbers. So use code BRAWL for 20% off of your order today. Committee meetings used to be the calmest places in all of Washington, D.C. Okay? It's calmer than the National Mall on a Tuesday night. Because nothing would ever happen until we started putting cameras in there. Now, on one hand, that does give the public the ability to make sure that, hey, there's no real shenanigans going on. We're having some transparency with Congress. Instead, we get more of a clown show. We get more of this bellicose ridiculousness from McIver, who should be having some shame in her impropriety, and should ask, less incendiary questions. But that's how the game is now played. And remember, folks, both the Democrat and Republican caucuses, they won't hand out scripts, but it is very theater-based, where someone will ask this question and they want to make sure that it isn't overlapping with another question. Someone wants their 5 minutes in the sun so they can go back to their constituents and say, I stood up to the big, mean Trump administration. Give me more money. And ultimately, I have to admit, that's a smart tactic. It's a required tactic because we are in an era where everyone has to up the ante, but eventually we're going to have to start looking at ourselves in the mirror and go, do we want to go this far? Do we want to be this insipid? Do we want to be this just mean-spirited and angry all the time? Do we really want that? In the case of the Democrat Party, it seems that they do. Meanwhile, you have a representative that's just finally had enough. And had enough for the right reasons. Brecheen, who is from Oklahoma, who, depending on the way this recording goes, has seen devastation from tornadoes. And occasionally from derechos. At least I think I'm pronouncing that correctly. It's essentially hurricane force winds operating on the Great Plains. It happens from time to time. And the high plains and Great Plains can get hit pretty darn hard. And Oklahoma is sort of the, as the tornado alley has moved south, Oklahoma and Arkansas have been sort of the tornado capitals of the world. And he's seen devastation. He's seen bad legislation. He's seen bad federal policies that make it tougher for his state to deal with these issues. And meanwhile, he's giving praise, as a representative should, saying thank you to a federal official who is actually looking to remove either at least some of the processes in order to be able to bulldoze these areas and rebuild, Or at least finding areas where, okay, we don't really need to spend money over here. We can save money over here. We can streamline it into one point here. That's what a good executive is supposed to do. And remember, the White House is more than just one executive. It's more than just one. It's an entire cabinet. Kristi Noem has been a governor herself and is more than worthy of the respect of other committee members that she is not receiving because McIver would rather have a bone to pick with the entire system because she's been so bellicose and just repugnant in her own actions. And instead of scaling down and apologizing, she's decided to up the ante, which is what the Democrat Party wants. What is needed instead is a bit of humility, like this representative that we're seeing here, and not just saying thank you because it's a Republican in office. If a Democrat was in office and I was in his shoes, I would go on the record saying thank you as well. Not because I don't want to have my own policies win, but I want to make sure that the right people are in office, the right people have this message, and the right people are caring about American citizens. Representative McIver is not the right kind of person to care about that. Kristi Noem is. And Representative Brecheen is as well. They have seen what happens when the feds aren't quick on the draw to actually help out these areas. Because South Dakota has seen, I think they actually had the most recent F5 tornado. Or is it EF5? But I know they've had a big one. I know North Dakota has had a couple of big ones as well. And Kristi Noem is from South Dakota. These people know how to get proper logistics out there. They understand what devastation looks like. Meanwhile, the most recent major problem that New Jersey has had to deal with has been Hurricane Sandy. Yeah, they get more snowstorms, but let's be honest here. It is easier to snowplow a road than it is to rebuild an entire set of homes strewn and thrown around by a major tornado. Okay, and that happens on the reg out there on the plains. So ultimately, this isn't just an issue of what a representative is supposed to look like, or an issue of decorum. This is an issue of how you are supposed to handle yourself. This is an issue of how you are supposed to represent your people. And instead of representing the ridiculous and insipid angers of your own problems with the feds, which you got yourself into, McIver, you can have some humility and maybe sit this one out. Well, let me know what you think down in the comments below. My name is Brian. Hope you enjoyed that segment here on Politibrawl. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Catch you on the next one. Until then, y'all have a good one.